Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat. I have finally got my act together and figured out what I wanted to do. I mentioned doing a large hinge journal, but I wanted to put some actual, pages, regular pages in it, and couldn't really figure out how to sew that in, and I don't know, there were just all kinds of issues that I was having with my brain. I may still do a large hinge journal, for this one I'm not. I'm going to be using my Pieces of the Past and Places of the Past both in this. So it's not going to be a hinge journal. This was inspired by Paper Crafter 45, and I've wanted to make one of those flip-flop journals for a while, but just have never done it. And then I saw hers done without envelopes, and I don't know, I'm going to admit, I don't totally know exactly how she did hers. It's something like the way I'm doing this one. I watched as much of the video as I had time to watch. It's a silent video for the most part, and so I kind of struggle with that, and that's my own thing. That's nothing wrong with her. She's not wrong or anything. She did a great job of showing everything. It's just my own brain gets ticking on other things, and then I'm really not paying attention. So anyhow, I just sort of took her concept and went my own direction with it, which is always a good thing to do anyway, because obviously we don't want to copy each other 100%. That's not always the best plan. I mean, if you're just starting out, very often it's a great idea to copy someone else's original work, as long as you're not trying to say it's yours or whatever, but just to get how to do it. So I do understand that completely. And we always use each other's ideas, and that's fantastic. So anyhow, on with this. I'm gonna first say hugs and blessings to Joan, Maggie, and Brenda. I love you guys, and thank you so much for your kind comments and always watching. I really appreciate it. And a huge super thanks to Betty Ann. You're the best. Very nice. And I also want to say thank you to everybody who mentioned I've got some of your freebies. I'll send them to you, that whole thing. Fortunately, I thank you guys so much for being willing to do that, but fortunately my son remoted into my computer last night and was able to retrieve those digitals and get them all back up. All the things that I deleted on that day from my Google Drive, he was able to recover and get them back. So hallelujah. But I thank you guys. You are the best and so kind for being willing to go through all your stuff and try to help me out. That was just so sweet of you. So thank you. So this is a piece of painter's masking paper. And so I have just, as you can see, folded it basically into thirds. Well, it's actually, yeah, well, I scored it 3 times. So kind of like thirds. But anyways, so I don't know the exact length. It's basically the whole length of the roll that I have, which I can't show you the whole thing on camera, and I don't have a ruler long enough, but you see it's one of the whole big long rolls like you get at Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever. You can find it in a lot of places where there are home painting supplies. So I took that, and I did end up cutting off a chunk at the end. So let me see if I can kind of give you an idea of the size of this. Oh my gosh, you guys, I keep putting things here and there while I'm working and then not putting them back. So that's 12 inches to the middle, so it's about 24 inches long. 24 inches long. And then I scored at 6 inches. So 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches. And then I folded basically like an accordion, back and forth. And then I measured 9 inches, put a little mark, and then tore to roughly about that. You can see it's a little more like rounded. I just wanted a torn edge at the top. I don't know why, it's just the way I wanted it. And this is just one thickness. And the reason I did only one thickness is because, for one, this is really thick painter's masking paper. If yours is the really thin kind, because there's two, this is like the weight of the old grocery bags, if you know what I'm talking about. Pretty hefty, right? It's not super thin. If yours is the thin, I would do 2 layers glued together, or what do you call it, matte gel or Mod Podge or whatever, get them to stick together. I didn't do that with this because I remembered how stiff and almost hard my last cover was using this, because I did 2 layers on the wallpaper journal, and it was just a little too stiff, I felt like. I'm going to be doing some, you know, collaging and gluing of other papers onto this, so I don't really think it's necessary to have 2 layers for this particular journal. So I did not. I just have 1 layer, 24 inches long by 9 inches tall. That gives you that perfect size for the 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper folded in half. So this is 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper from, this is the Pieces of the Past digital. And on the other side, I have the Grungy Old Paper digital. And so those fit, I think it goes this way. No, it goes this way. Those fit perfectly inside of there, because this is roughly the size of a standard journal size that a lot of us make. So, I mean, you can make it any size. You don't have to make it the same size I'm making it. This is just what I decided to do. So there will be 1 signature at this spot. And then just like a flip-flop journal, this may not have as many flip-flops as a lot of those. I don't really know, but this is just my version. And then a signature here, and then when you open it to the other side, there will be 1 signature here. So that will give me 3 signatures, and I think that's plenty. That's all I feel like I want to do. But you could continue on. You could tape another, or not tape, but glue another strip of this same paper here and keep going. Or you could run the roll the other direction, you know, the long direction where it just keeps on rolling, and make it whatever length that you want to make it. Mine's 24 inches long. Okay, so I don't totally know what we're going to do today, but I was just so excited that I actually figured out what I was going to do. So we have this piece that we made for the 50 stack challenge. It will go in here. I think I'm going to actually put it on a page, I think. See, I haven't decided everything yet. I also made this piece based roughly on that book page pocket that we did yesterday. I mean, clearly it's very different, but same idea of having a pocket front and back, and then pockets on the inside, just not in the same arrangement as the one yesterday. So I've just torn a piece of kit page, actually folded it, doubled it, tore it so that it was, you know, a little bit thicker. And then this piece is in the Places of the Past digital. This is just a photo that I had, so I've just cut it into a tag size and put it here. You could of course put anything. You could put more flowers or birds or whatever you want to put. And this is just a stamp. I think that's in one of my little postage stamp sets. That's a kit page. I think I'm going to put one of these in here, stitch around it, add some coffee dyed paper to the back. This is a Tim Holtz piece. I'm going to put different pictures. Like, I'm not going to really make it a time period, because we're sort of thinking about an old house, old attic, those kind of things. So you're not going to have just one era of photographs. Well, I mean, I guess you could if just one family, say, owned it and only one time period was left. But anyways, I'm going to put different pictures. So this is one of the pockets in the Places of the Past. This is Places of the Past. And then I have this one. I think this is Places of the Past as well. I printed one of the kind of background pages on cardstock. And so I've just cut it up into a journaling card and I think a tag. And this is one of the images from the Places of the Past. This rose is actually from, I think it's my Valentine, but you can use anything you want to make your, you know, if you want to make a little tuck or whatever. I've got these type of things in my shop. I did not include this one, the die cut set, or they're laser cut actually, I just call them die cuts, but is called Grandma's Attic because it's all sort of things like you would think of for Grandma's Attic. This one I just put some of these watercolors on to get the color. They're liquid watercolors. I like playing with those. They're very fun to play with. But I didn't include this one because when the laser cut the needle, it was too thin over here, so it just broke off. And then that needle is so fine, I think if you tried to put that in a bag and ship it, it would be a disaster. But I'll show you some of the ones that did make the cut. See, I always, make the cut, get it? Yeah, let me get something to put these on so you can actually maybe see them. So I just have things like, there's a cat. There's actually a couple different cats, but anyways, teacups, some little buttons, and I used those somewhere else. I'm not sure where, but anyway, I'll figure that out in a minute. The bicycle. The sewing machine does have that little skinny needle, but I think it's small enough. When I stack them all together, it'll be all right. More teacups. There's like an old radio. Teacup. There's lots of buttons. There's some thread, or you could say yarn. This comes out of the radio right here. So I include those things if they don't fall through the cutting grate. So they'll be there if, you know, they don't fall through. The extras is what I'm talking about. Teapot, dress form, a different cat, because, you know, the cats always follow us all over the house. Not that they're stuck in the attic. That's not what I'm saying. An old phone, corded phone, which everybody goes, what the heck's that? A seam ripper, tear, whatever you call it. A different dress form, a little bit taller, skinny one. That one's pretty skinny too, but we're going to try it and hope that they don't, I don't think they'll get messed up when they're all stacked together. Another phone. A different sort of, see, this is a extra piece. Bicycle there, buttons again. Just a dress. A pair of scissors. There's a couple different keys. Those two are the same, but there's this one. There's a vase. There's buttons. And the rest are all buttons. So it'll be like 120 plus pieces that you will get in the set of die cuts. And so they'll be all those duplicated, if you see what I mean. So I'll cut 3 pages. And they will be a craft cardstock type of paper. So there is that. I put a button. Oh, the button's right there. I tied some thread through it. The nice part about those, and you could color them, you know, like I colored this with Tim Holtz Distress inks or oxides or whatever, the watercolor, whatever, to get more color to your buttons. I don't remember what I was, oh, the thing I like about these is they're so flat, because as you know, real buttons, real chunky, and so I hardly ever use them. I mean, I will, but man, they just get chunky fast. Another thing I'll have in the shop by the time you see this video is file folders. So you'll get 3 sets of, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 6. 3 sets of 6 of these, and then you'll get 2 of those divided file folders, because I've just been trying to think of a way, because a few people said, I want these, but I don't want a package of 24, which is the way Amazon sells them. So I thought, you know, I'll make some kind of kit where you get just 2, and that way you can make a journal or 2 and then be done with it if you don't want any more of them. All right, I'll shush now and I'll stop talking about my shop. I just like to tell you guys what's in there if there's something you're looking for or something you want. So apologize to those who don't want to hear about it. All right, so unfortunately that's how I make my living, so I kind of have to do a little advertising since I'm the only, you know, I'm the one that's going to advertise for it. So I hope you guys are doing fantastic, having a wonderful, wonderful day. It is neap around here. We're supposed to get a storm, so it's just gray and cloudy today. So as you can see, I'm just going to ink around this for now until I figure out what I'm going to do on it. You know what I think I might do? It's called Ink and Think, as Gail Augustinelli says. I might add an envelope sort of thing at the top here. And these won't be super big signatures just because, you know, there's not a lot of spine space, I feel like. So I don't want to make big hulking things so that this just ends up being ridiculous looking with gator mouths. So I don't think I'll do that, but I'm going to grab some envelopes and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and I've gotten some things together. So I have used envelopes, and this is actually not a used envelope, but this is all I had in craft, which I'm shocked because I had tons of craft type envelopes. But that's fine because we don't need tons, we just need a couple. So this is really bizarre. This one has this little extra bit right here, so we're going to cut this out. And we're going to just turn this into a little, you know, like small scale flap top, envelope flap top for our journal. And I'm tearing, but yeah. I don't, what is it with scissors that won't cut at the point? It's very annoying. Okay. So this one, these came with these like cards to go in them, but they're not like they're like a postcard, you know, just one layer or whatever. It doesn't open up. So that'll be fun to decorate with something. And then I'm going to take a piece of, you could use anything. You could use cardstock, you could use a piece of kit paper, you can use whatever you want. This is just how I like to do it. You don't have to do it this way, but I like to put like a little hidey spot for these to go into. So I've cut it the same size as this envelope, and I will eventually get it on there, right? And then this other envelope will go on the other side. And what this does is make it so I don't have to attach the two envelopes together. They're kind of like a separate thing. So this one will open, and then this one will open. And you can have a picture here or a place to write or whatever you feel like. So that's how I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to put this piece of corrugated cardboard on here. And it isn't centered, so that may drive some crazy. But what I'm going to do, I think, is do some kind of decorative thing on here. And then I'll put something of interest maybe along here just to help center that. You could hang it over a little more, and it wouldn't be the end of the world because it's attached to this flap. So I might do that just a little bit to center it. Yeah, I think I'll do that. And then, yeah, like I said, I will decorate that. But the first thing we got to do is get these attached onto this little backer piece, and then get the backer piece attached to the journal. So sorry, I didn't plan this very well, but it sort of just came to me after I saw that first part of that video this morning, and then I was like, well, why can't I make like a regular size instead of the skinny tall, just do the regular size but flip-flop. So I'm going to do it and see what it turns out like. No guarantees, but... So I'm going to have to glue that. Let's not get glue all over the other to this piece so that they match up well. And you could cut, you know, I actually am going to do that. Cut some of this off. We do not need this gigando flap under there. It's not necessary. sun is trying to come out, so that's lovely. I don't think it will stay long, but hey, we'll take it for however much time it's here, right? I know, poor California has to get, oh my gosh, walloped with water. They either have no water or too much water. It doesn't seem like there is any happy medium in California on that. It's all or nothing. It's kind of crazy. Kinda crazy. And you could use any kind of glue for that. Doesn't matter, because you're just wanting it to stick to this. And I'm just going to try to line it up as best I can, which is hard with curly paper. If you used a piece of cardstock, it would probably go much smoother, but that's okay. Because it would be stiff, right? But we're going to just use this. Sorry, I gotta take my slippers off. Hot. Should probably turn off my heater too. I was freezing. You know how it is. You're either freezing or hot this time of year. And we'll cut this off. This was obviously my sister's card. From my aunt. I can tell by the handwriting. But my sister saves all these things for me, because she knows eventually they'll get used. Maybe not right away, but do try to decrease some of the trash. I probably make more than I decrease, but I do try. And then we're just going to try to, you know, sort of center this. It can be off one way or another. It's not going to hurt it. And then that will close. Ugh, maybe it will close. That was weird. Why is it so... Oh, envelopes, I'm telling you. Could they ever just be the right size? Okay, and that one is not wanting to... Well, darn. What happened here? Get it too close? I should have left a gap, huh? Take this one off before it... Okay, well, neither side's gonna come off. So, what did I do? I even had this folded up. But it is... My measurements were off again. I'm doing good with that lately. I need a bone folder. It's alright, we'll make it work somehow. We can trim this a little more. There's no need for that. I keep buying scissors, trying to get them to work at the tip. I just don't think it's a thing anymore. Okay, and we're just gonna make this fold over this. So, my advice here, I haven't done one of these in a long time. I did one once for a bee journal with all sorts of envelopes on the top of the journal, but it has been a very long time, so I clearly forgot. You should leave a gap, which I should have known that anyhow, but I didn't, so there you go. Leave a gap so that your envelope can fold over easily and not with a fight. And then this whole piece, so you see, you could keep going with envelopes and then glue the whole thing to the top of your journal. It just is kind of an easier way of you know, making that happen. What I'm going to do first is a little bit of collaging around the edges so that, you know, it's a little interesting, strengthens it a little bit, and then we'll put that on top. This is just a music page that I made a photocopy of. Is that going to be wide enough, I wonder? And the interesting part is going to be that up there. But we'll try to figure that out as we go. Yeah, that'll be wide enough. Okay, sorry, I said that will be wide enough. I know I'm probably mumbling because I'm concentrating. I do that. Bear with me. And I re-inked my walnut stain, so hopefully it will be fabulous. You don't have to ink every piece of your collage if you don't want to. I just like to. But do it the way you like to do it. Yeah, it was actually Carol Law's idea to do the laser cuts, you know, like Grandma's attic thing. And so I found what I could find to make that happen. It's a great idea, so thank you, Carol. She is just amazing. Can I just say amazing? And a dear friend of mine, and I love her. She's my often, aside from my family, you know, like a sounding board for me. So that's always good for ideas. Having a drink of my coffee because you know, not everybody in the family is interested in the same things that I am, which is fine. We all have our things. All right, let's put some Sears and Roebuck. This one's not as, what do you call it? Oh my gosh. This is so cool. I like this part down here. We will tear. Yeah, it's going to tear through that too. Maybe we'll just do the little dresser stuff you might find in an attic. I mean, not that the whole thing has to be like that. I think that's a fun thing. Oh, well, you know what? It's not going to show. I think what I'll do is just kind of, not sure what to do at the top. Isn't that funny how you don't think about that? I think I just kind of make it more jagged or something. Because I don't want to start like straight across here because I think that'll look weird. So I think I'll just kind of do it a little more organically maybe, if I can. This way it doesn't look weird. By the same token, I don't want it just right up against the tear either, like up here. Maybe I do want it closer, because that would give it like another layer. These are all the things that you have to think about. What order to do things in. What, yeah, it can be, luckily you can fix a lot, but it can be tricky to think of all the things. So basically that's all I'm going to do is kind of collage on here. There goes the mailman zooming by. And he's like, man, you guys, they drive fast through here, I feel like. Got some statistics. Let's do like more jagged tearing of this. gonna try to do something maybe like that. See, all these little bits I'll use for stuff, so I'm not worried about that. Let's use a tear ruler, Amy. And wherever these hang over this top part, I think I will just let it be. And if it gets bent or whatever, we're going to just embrace that as part of it. If you see what I mean. Kind of like I'm trying to embrace my gray hair. When I went in last time, because she was weaving it a little bit to help with the grow out. And she's like, "Are we weaving it today?" And I said, "No, we're just gonna embrace it." I might weave it again next time, like every other time or something like that. I don't know. It's all silliness, I know. But it's just one of those things. It's kind of an adjustment. Needs some adjusting to the whole thing. I mean, take me or leave me at this point. I don't much care, but it's just more adjusting myself to it. Put that little bit. See, all these little bits are good. We're gonna try to tear it a little straighter though along that edge. Ugh, that stuff is just disintegrating is what's happening. I kind of want to see my treble clefs if possible, because I do like them. That has a little gesso on it. Oh my goodness, see, it's just, I'm not kidding you, it's disintegrating. It's disintegrating before my eyes. And the cool part is this brown paper underneath it. If it shows, it's fine. All right, I'm liking it. Hope you guys are liking it. So yeah, if you aren't a big fan of the skinny flip-flop journal, as far as like you don't really care that much for skinny journals, try a regular size one and see if you like it. Because I know there's a lot of people that just don't make the skinny journals, and that's fine. There's no rules. No rules. That's the great part. This will probably get covered. I'm not that worried about it. Them's the breaks. Oh, I could do this side and have the gentleman in his long underwear. Maybe we'll do that. Long underwear. Okay, so then where's my envelopes? Oh, what did I do, y'all? There they are. Oh, he's still gonna get covered. Oh well. I tried. I tried. Turn it this way. It really doesn't matter what you use to collage this part, obviously, because you're not gonna see it much. That's why I kind of just wanted words and things rather than a whole lot of other stuff. I like this look too, like those old advertisement pages that have, you know, all different advertisements, old advertisements. glue page is a mess. Flip it over. So my sister is in 7th heaven because she is with her adorable little grandbaby boy visiting. We will eventually go down to see them, but kids want to go, we all want to go, so one thing, we're all in work, school, etc. And also I want him to grow a bit because, like, my daughter's roommate has the dreaded virus that we all have learned to hate in the last 3 years or so. So I don't want, obviously, cannot be around that tiny baby if you have any possibility of having that. So we're gonna wait a bit. My daughter was here this weekend, so we're all kind of holding our breath, hoping we don't get it. I've had it, but it wasn't fun, and I don't like being sick, so, because I'm not good at doing nothing. Not that anybody likes being sick, but you know what I mean. It's just, I'm not very good about staying down and getting better. Okay, so that should be good. Good. Now where did I put those again? Keep just throwing them on that stack of paper and then they get buried. So that will go like that. So see, that already looks more interesting, right? And strengthened. I'm drinking coffee. Hold on. It's probably why I'm hot now, because I'm drinking coffee and my heater's going. I feel better now I took off my slippers. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna plunk that right down on there, and then I'll figure out what I want to do as far as actually I'm just gonna use glue stick. As far as covering that back bit, if I want to have it for writing, do I want to, you know, what do I want to do with it? I don't know yet. It all takes a while to come to grips with. These ended up laying pretty flat after I strong-armed them. Sometimes you just gotta show the paper who's boss. It's not always good at relenting, but I'm gonna put a little bit of this just to help hold. What is wrong with this thing? I'm telling you, I'm getting ready to pitch this. I've washed the tip out. I mean, not for a few days, but it just seems like it's this constant battle I'm having that I normally don't have too much of. Get the corners so that they for sure stay down. No lifting of corners allowed. You must behave. But yeah, I've been struggling with that thing lately. It's either oozing all out the top, which I can't remember. I'm sorry, you guys, because I read all my comments basically usually right at the same time if they're all there. And I'm horrible at remembering who said what, but I think it was Barbara. I'm not positive. If you take the lid off, it helps get the air. For when it's oozing all over, this is a different problem, but anyhow, that's just for y'all to know. Okay, so see, you could write there or whatever, but we will probably end up covering it. It's just for now, that's what I'm going with. That's what I have. So now I want to kind of work on this. And I think what I'm going to do is treat this kind of like a playing card when you put paper on with the glue stick and then let it dry and pull it back up. I'm going to try and see how that works. And then we'll do some layering and put our house image, our old rickety house, on there. I might add some gesso. This technique works great for playing cards. The other thing that's cool about this is you can kind of squash it and see how, because this is that real, not very stabilized corrugated cardboard. It's like what I would call cheap corrugated cardboard. It's like almost a piece of paper instead of actual cardboard. So see, it's real cool. Just get some interesting texture there. Yeah, whenever I get a box with that, I snatch it up because it is, one, easier to work with and peel and all that because it's you know, super thin top paper that's on it. And also because you can flatten it a little bit so it's not so bulky. Do we want to put something back behind here? Maybe so. Let me see. It's a tag. I don't want a tag. It's like 3 kits. You're not going to see a whole lot of it is the thing, so it doesn't have to be anything in particular. I wouldn't mind having a little color back there. Oh, this one would probably be good. Because it's got the blues, the doily type areas. Yeah, I like that one. That's what we're gonna put on there. Okay, so let me tear the edge. I can't remember. I think this one's in the pieces of the past. It's kind of hard for me to remember because I created them both basically at the same time. And purposefully made them kind of go together. So it can be a little tricky to remember which one which. Oh, this envelope, Amy. This envelope. Ah, sorry. Does that hurt your ears? And now it's getting all cloudy again. I know we are supposed to get rain, so eventually it will be here. So go about this direction. I think this is going to be fun. I'm so happy that I decided to do it this way. And I got some inspiration and felt like doing it because I was at a block. I was like, I don't know what to do, and I don't know. You know how you get like that? And then all of a sudden, it works out. See, I needed to see her video. Paper Crafter 45, is that what I said? Paper Crafter 45, yes. She has a YouTube channel and Instagram. Same thing, Paper Crafter 45, all together kind of thing. So yes, definitely go check her out because her journal is beautiful. It's just my, that seems crooked. I don't know, I can't tell. Anyways, my attention span is that of a gnat, so that's the problem. It's not her fault. If there's no sound, I just can't do it. I'm just like, oh, because my brain starts tick, 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 tick. That's a little ADD, I'm pretty sure. I'm always doing like 4 things at once, I feel like. Not saying I'm doing them well, just saying. Okay, let me see. I had a sigh there because I'm trying to figure out what I want to do, not because I'm bored. Ooh, you know what I should grab? I'm going to grab a doily real quick. I've got my old paper. I'll be right back. And I'm going to turn off my heater because I'm a roasted. I am a roasted. I think I'm going to use these off-white. Maybe? Don't know. Oh, it's so quiet in here now. Isn't that amazing how that constant noise thing is ish sometimes. These are my favorite. And thank you to the people who have gifted them to me. I love these. I don't ever see them around here anywhere. These super lacy ones. I get a lot of like this kind of thing around here with this big. And I like these better. So weird how... Well, I think these are... I know these particular ones are older because my friend Lorraine gave these to me from her mom. So I know those are a little bit older. But... you just don't find them a whole lot now. I mean, you definitely find doilies, just not that look like that. Oh, I forgot. I almost forgot. I want to do that technique first before I do any of this kind of stuff. Because that might be our perfect background. If not, we can always cover it up. So what you do with the playing card thing is put some paper down. Book page. A thinner paper might be better. Like this is pretty thin. This catalog. Just because when you tear it up, it seems to tear better, you know, because it's thin. You're not fighting against the tearing. It just goes better. Use a little sewing tissue. You could use any tissue. It doesn't have to be sewing tissue. I just have a bunch. Kind of like crinkling up the air. It just goes away to nothing. And the reason I'm not like putting it directly on here is because I want it to stick some places, but not stick everywhere, if you see what I mean. So you kind of want to like not do it perfectly, right? And then if you just let it dry and you pull it up, it's, like I said, sticks in some places and doesn't stick in others. Very slick. Works great for playing cards to kind of make them look older. Also, putting just the tissue on the playing cards works really well. Let's see. Oh, some of this work. Now this is going to be different because it may not really lift at all. I don't know. So you really got to let it dry though, because like if I go pulling right now, I'm just going to pull everything off of there. So you really got to just let it dry. It may be hard to do because you want to see it right now if you're like me. But you just gotta wait. And some bits might glue down entirely. Okay. We're going to set that aside. Hopefully it will dry. And we will put something on this one while we're waiting so that we're not wasting our time. What could I put there? Because I do want something kind of interesting along that side. I might put some actual lace there too. Put it this way because I don't want to tear those roses. Yeah, I could do the roses, but I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of them. That actually might look kind of cool. It almost looks like they're together or part of the same. Can do that. And then, like I said, I'll probably put some actual lace along that edge to make it seem like it was meant to be that way instead of off center. It's all smoke and mirrors, man. Smoke and mirrors. Now, yes, I see this doesn't fit perfectly, but we can add other little bits of paper as well. So we'll pull that basically all the way to the edge, and then we'll do some other things around that part where it isn't. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. It's getting cold, which is sad days. Sad days. And then the coffee gets cold. I need one of those little, like mug heaters, you know, you set your mug on it and it keeps your coffee warm or tea warm or whatever you have in your cup. Thank you guys for all your kind comments about the book page. Oh, I did do it right. I thought I did it upside down for a minute. The book page pockets. That has been so fun to do, and I'm glad you guys have liked them. I needed that just a few days of like not having to figure things out, because sometimes I just can't. I just can't. I don't know why that happens like that. You can go on like all kinds of ideas, and then all of a sudden you're just like hit a wall. I don't know if I like that because of this right here. So I don't think I'm going to do that. I like the music. What else could we put on there? Alright, I have a mountain of junk here now to go through. Oh, one of these would probably work. Yeah, let's do that. Those are in the kit. Those little cuckoo strips that I put here and there whenever, just because I'm trying to give you something that you can use on those random stretches of paper where there isn't, you know, like if it was tags and another tag won't fit, I try to put something on there that, you know, could be useful somewhere. And see, it is. I am going to attempt to tear this other side. Wish me luck. The trick, which I don't know if I'll be able to make it happen, but is to not pull that way. Yeah. And to keep pressure on the ruler wherever you're tearing. So that's why I move down with it. The biggest thing I do wrong is pull that direction. You don't want to do that, because that makes it pull right out from under the ruler. And that's not fun. This is a little bit thicker paper. 65-pound cardstock. This is 28-pound copy paper. It's a little heavier than the 24-pound, obviously. And I use Southworth, and I really like it because you can get it at Staples and Walmart. It's not, I mean, it's a little more obviously than copy paper, but white copy paper, because it's a ivory color, but it's not like horribly expensive or anything. I'm going to actually leave that end up because this is a thicker paper, and probably whatever I put there is going to be a thinner paper. Like I could even use this here. I think I will do that just for the sake of that has glue on it already. And you could, like, you may be asking, well, what the heck are you going to do with that? Like, somebody could put a photograph there, or another little piece of paper that you could write on. So it's up to the owner, whoever gets this one. And this one will have sewn in signatures, so I can't ship this one to Canada. I'm sorry. Nothing against Canada. I just don't want it to get destroyed is all. Because that makes everybody sad, including me. And I'll probably put coffee dye and everything else in this one because it's, I'm going grungy. It's all the oldie but goodies. Yeah, that side's kind of cooler. I think I like this side better. Sorry about that. Oh, but I can't put it that direction. Never mind. We're going with the original. The original way. Oh, shoot. Oh, it's so sticky. So sticky. Oh, well, it's a little crooked too. That's fine. It just gives it even more old vibe, right? Yeah, I like the way that looks. So that one, maybe will pop open if you don't glue it to the other part. So let's see how this is going. Is it dry? I think it should be. No guarantee, but let's try the first one we did, which was this one. And if you go fast like that, it does help. Oh well. You know, because you're not moving super slow. I can't decide what to try next. Some tweezers or something would probably be beneficial if you got them. I don't know where mine are. Oh, there's some. Or not. That one's not a great choice, that textured paper, because it doesn't really want to, it doesn't want to play, it just wants to all come off, and that one wasn't dry enough. So let it dry like for, you know, maybe an hour, and you'll have better results than I did, because I'm doing a video. But we're going to fake it till we make it right now. Okay. That'll do. It's a real stuck to my fingers. All the bits. I'm going to put this little bit up here. And I'm gluing that one entirely because I want it to stick here. Crinkle and wrinkle it. Okay, I'm going to move this. I'm going to put a little gesso on it. Maybe. Maybe so, maybe no. I'm just going to, oh, I got plastic right here. I'll use plastic. This will help stick it down to, you know, in places where it may not be. I'm just going to do a little. And it's picking up some of the ink from the cardboard, so it's kind of changing color just fine. Okay, now that's got to dry entirely, so I'm not going to be able to finish that part today. I think we're about done for today, but just to kind of show you, it would be on there. And then we'll have some more inking and who knows what else, because kind of like I did with the wallpaper journal. So anyway, tell me what you guys think about doing a fatter version of the flip-flop. You know, like a more standard size that you can put 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, or whatever size works, you know, best for you. You could make it shorter or whatever, but rather than doing the tall skinny, just for something different. That is all. So we'll have that all ready to go. But see, even this part is, I think, perfectly fine for a cover. It's not floppy like it would, like these ones are. It's nice. So I don't think that'll be a problem at all. Just having that one layer. I just know when I did 2 layers of this thick craft paper for that other journal, it did really get like a hard cover journal, like chipboard. So I don't know, that's just your own thing. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Would keep going, but that has got to dry all the way. So we will continue another day. Tomorrow we will be doing the color combo, so it'll probably be Tuesday before we get back to this. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll chat again soon. Love you guys. Bye.